On April 1st, 2026, 4 people left Earth and flew to the Moon.
Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy.
We are going for our families.
We are going for our teammates.
We are going for all humanity.
Engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the Moon.
They didn't land. They flew around it, closer than any human has been in more than half a century. And then they came home. It took 10 days. They traveled 252,000 miles from Earth, further than any human being has ever traveled in the history of our species. The last time humans went to the Moon was December 1972, Apollo 17.
10, 9, 8, 7, ignition sequence started. All engines are started. We have ignition. 2, 1, 0. We have a liftoff.
17 Houston, you are go for orbit. Go for orbit.
Gene Cernan stepped off the lunar surface, climbed back into the lunar module, and nobody has been back since.
What I believe history will record that America's challenge of today has forged man's destiny of tomorrow. And as we leave as we came, and God willing, as we shall return. Godspeed the crew of Apollo 17.
For 54 years, the Moon sat there, visible every night from every window on Earth, and no human being went near it. Not because we forgot how, not because we decided it wasn't worth doing, but because the urgency that drove the Apollo program was political rather than scientific. Once America had beaten the Soviet Union to the surface,
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
the reason to go evaporated almost overnight. The funding dried up. The rockets were retired. The engineers who knew how to do it grew old and retired too. We didn't just stop going to the moon. We lost the institutional knowledge of how to get there. And rebuilding that, relearning what we once knew, has taken decades. Artemis II is the proof that we've figured it out again. NASA's new Space Launch System rocket, the most powerful rocket ever launched, carried 4 astronauts inside the Orion spacecraft on a 10-day journey around the moon. Commander Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen flew further from Earth than any humans ever have, looped around the lunar far side, and splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean on April 10th. But what makes this mission remarkable isn't just the engineering. It's what the crew actually experienced. A large part of humanity alive on Earth today were born after the last moon landing. And even those who remember it, who watched it on grainy television screens as children, grew up in a world where it became history rather than momentum, where space exploration meant robots and telescopes and unmanned probes sent to the outer planets. We inherited the achievement without inheriting the momentum. The 54-year gap wasn't inevitable. It was a choice, or more accurately, a series of choices, made by governments and budget committees and shifting political priorities. The technology to return existed for most of that period. What didn't exist was the will.
Today, weather permitting, Atlantis will display its power and spectacle one last time under the direction of Flight Director Richard Jones.
What changed? Several things simultaneously. The rise of private space companies created genuine competition and drove costs down dramatically. Climate concerns made the long-term survival of humanity beyond Earth feel less like science fiction and more like practical planning. And perhaps most importantly, the scientific understanding of what the moon actually contains has transformed dramatically. The moon isn't just a rock. It has water ice at its poles. It has rare minerals. It has a position in space that makes it the ideal staging point for missions deeper into the solar system. The moon is just the first step and not the final destination. Artemis II was a test flight. It was NASA confirming that the spacecraft works, that the life support systems work, that humans can survive the journey. Artemis III is already being prepared. It is targeted to launch in 2027 and will land astronauts on the lunar surface for the first time since 1972. They will not just fly around the moon. They will land, walk on the surface, conduct science, and begin the work of understanding what it would take to stay. Because staying is the plan. NASA is actively developing what it calls a sustained lunar presence, a permanent base on the moon's surface. Not just a flag and some footprints. A place where humans live and work for extended periods, learning everything we need to know about surviving in deep space. And the reason for doing all of that, the reason the moon base matters, is a single word: Mars.
We need to celebrate this moment in human history. Because Artemis II is more than a mission to the moon and back. It's more than a mission that has to happen before we send people to the surface of the moon. It is the next step on the journey that gets humanity to Mars.
When we hear those words, we have touchdown, it's our next step to understanding how the moon formed, that next move to land humans.
You've got to see the X-59 because it is one cool airplane. We continue modification to the aircraft that will become the X-66.
When you have a space mission into an unknown place, you find remarkable things that you did not anticipate.
This mission is going to be game-changing.
Virtually everybody on this Earth is going to be affected by the science data that NISAR is going to return.
At any given moment, we have 140 active missions across the solar system. NASA science is literally everywhere. Science enables exploration, and exploration enables science.
Every challenge we face in getting humans to Mars exists in a simpler form on the moon. Radiation, growing food in a hostile environment, building structures that protect against temperature extremes, psychological effects of long-duration spaceflight. The moon is where we solve those problems before the journey that actually counts. But the architecture of this new era isn't NASA's alone. We are witnessing the violent fusion of government ambition and commercial might. Elon Musk's SpaceX is forging Starship, the largest rocket ever built, not just to visit the moon, but with a singular focus on Mars. A new, relentless space race is accelerating everything.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX. Godspeed, Spot and Doug.
NASA and SpaceX set out to prove that the Crew Dragon spacecraft and Falcon 9 rocket could safely fly astronauts to the International Space Station. NASA astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken became the first people to fly a commercial spacecraft into orbit.
NASA has not done a flight test program for a spaceship since the space shuttle, so you're talking late 70s, early 80s, the last time we kind of did this as an agency.
The space shuttle was the last craft certified to fly NASA astronauts from American soil until now. Behnken and Hurley splashed down safely in the Gulf of Mexico on August 2nd, 2020.
I think this is a first step for us to be able to tell our children and our grandchildren that not just a few of us get to go to space.
Extensive analysis of the Demo 2 test flight followed. It was the culmination of years of design, development, and testing, from hardware manufacturing and running simulations to transforming Launch Complex 39A and testing parachutes. From firing up engines to practicing emergency escapes from the launch tower, from the pad, and during ascent. NASA spent thousands of hours dissecting these tests, working hand in hand with SpaceX to deliver on America's investment.
For all the folks that are following along throughout the world and throughout America, I really would like them to recognize that there's a huge team that makes this possible.
In November 2020, for the first time in history, NASA certified a commercial spacecraft to carry astronauts to space in regular flights to the space station.
We are entering a new era of human spaceflight, where NASA is no longer the purchaser, owner, and operator of all the hardware. We are going to be a customer, one customer of many customers in a very robust commercial marketplace.
Though certification is complete, the team remains vigilant to ensure safety for the first crew to fly a full-duration mission on Crew Dragon and all the crews to come.
NASA's commercial partnerships are advancing so fast that the goal is no longer if we go, it's which orbital trajectory window in the 2030s we choose. For the first time in human history, we aren't just preparing to visit another world, we are preparing to stay. But amidst all this advanced engineering and shifting priorities, it is crucial we remember why we are doing this. We cite the mechanics of survival, overpopulation, resource scarcity, and the slow burn of a warming globe. These are the pushes, but they are not the pull. There is something irresistible in the deep void, a silent lure that has called to us since we first looked at the stars. For millennia, we were spacebound in spirit. Today, we finally possess the metal and flame to make it our reality.
Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis II. Let's go.
Right uphill. We have good separation, good motion.
Houston is go for TLI.
We have the start of the translunar injection burn that will send the crew around the moon, the first humans to do so in over 50 years.
You could see the entire globe from pole to pole. It was the most spectacular moment.
As of 30 seconds ago, you are now closer to the moon than you are to us on Earth. Good morning, integrity, and good morning, moon.
We caught a view of Earth in window 1.
We look like we're smiling at you.